Welcome to Provo. Well, here's my first part of the journey. The city is warm today, which is weird. You can see it over there. I'm going to take the back way, so first part of it will not be will not be trafficked or with too much traffic, which is nice. I head under the bridge this way, and I'll give you a blow-by-blow on how to get out of here. All right, so this is the best way out of here. You go under the bridge from the UTA platform, and then you can either go down that street to the other street, but since it's sketch balls, rather not. Or you can go to this street down here and make a left and follow that down to where you need to go. Either way, it works. Doesn't really matter. It's just really quiet roads. So you can see this is a one-way. So I'm just gonna sneak by this dude here and head down this one way. And then now I got 4 hours probably, or 5 hours of riding this evening. And then I'll be out far enough where I don't have to worry about. After you get to this street, you follow it 1130 south. I know it by feel. I don't really know it by the names. Well, there are the frogs. The wetlands that they created here are pretty nice. I used to go and hang out in here and relax for a minute while collecting my thoughts. But it's no longer available because it was made into a camp. And then of course what they do is they shut everybody out of the public lands when there's a camp. It's almost done on purpose. Anyway, there you go. All right, here we are coming down the frontage road next to the tracks. And we're like basically in the yard. It's construction, so it'll be nice, there'll be less people. So that's sweet. All right, here we go. All right, day number, I guess half, but day number 2. I rode about 2.5 hours, maybe a little less, 2 hours. Maybe something like that, a little less than 2.5 hours. I made it to Payson. So here's Payson's hotel room that I rented. $100. It's not bad for $100. And I'm out. Welcome to historic Basin at 3:45 in the morning. They redid the streets. It's the last time I was here. Looks nice. Just leaving Payson. It's a very nice place. They got restaurants, salons, and everything. So that's pretty sweet. I'm in a canyon outside of the Nebo Loop Road. On my way to Fountain Green. I took this road up to take a break from the traffic. The noise can be pretty gnarly, especially when you spend hours and hours and hours on it. So I needed a break. So there's my stuff. There's a beautiful like forest roads that like dot these areas, and you can see there's a bunch of deer tracks and elk tracks and tracks of all sorts in this canyon. It's very cold though. So I'm waiting for the sun for 2 seconds too, because I promised Shelly I would. So I'm gonna do that for her, and I'm gonna hopefully get to Mount Pleasant in about 2 hours, maybe less. That would be sweet if I could do it in less time. And I biked from Payson this morning, and it was dark and miserable with pretty heavy traffic just because it's a Wednesday. So it was good for the first, like, I should say it was good for the first like hour and a half, and then it got really busy. There's not much shoulders moving into Nephi from Mona, but strangely enough, there's a great shoulder all the way through Mona. And then once you pass through Mona, there's no shoulder, and then there is a shoulder. And oh, those red cliffs are really pretty. I'm getting closer to southern Utah in a half a day. Anyway, well, a little over half a day. And I'm heading in that direction. That is up toward Fountain Green. And then through to Mount Pleasant and Fairview. And get some food. And well, maybe I don't even need it actually. I'm just gonna go probably hit the pass. I don't need to stop. I might get Gatorades if I so inclined to feel that I need them, but it's so cold right now. I'm not really losing many I'm not sweating very much, so I'm not losing a lot of fluids. You can see this is basically the bike. 2 down jackets, tent, poles. I separate that with the pegs, or the things that secure to the ground, what do you call them, pegs. And then I put my stove. My gas goes on the main bag. I just put like much food as I can and a gallon of water there, and then this time I'm going to put a gallon of water there, plus about 7 days worth of rations once I get to Moab. So I've got a lot of planning on top of a lot of hard riding, and paying attention because I have to dodge traffic. So I'm gonna, now that it's daylight and it looks like I have a go, I'm gonna have it a go and head up on the road. It is gonna be heavy traffic, so it's not gonna be very fun. But once I get to Fairview and once I get to the pass, usually on Tuesday after rush hour, the pass is pretty empty, so I'll have the whole road to myself. So that's good. I mean, but it is a gnarly climb. The cars don't even do it for a reason. And then it's all downhill. I mean, there are variations of like hills that aren't very big, but it's mostly downhill from the top of the mountain all the way to Huntington. There's this one climb, I think, right outside Huntington, but it's, I mean, after all those miles of going downhill, it's not too bad. Anyway, look at them defending territory like they own the place. Kind of do at the moment. You can hear the mating call of the hens right now. There they are. See them strutting. It's kind of cool to watch them next to the road here. All right, here we are at the junction of the BLM road, the limited use area. You can see, here we go. So I'm off the main road. All done now. And I'm gonna head up this road over here, and it's gonna be Fountain Green for, I don't know, a little bit. Welcome to Fountain Green. I'm only gonna be here for a second, but I'm gonna start documenting all the towns I go through. They have a gas station. That is about it. So I go that way, the back road from here, because the road is pretty gnarly after town, and the back way is the only way to go. So, all right, right, welcome to the quaint town of Moroni. And I go straight that way and it gets really gnarly. So this is not very fun, but at least it's after rush hour. So it's about 9:45. So I'm going slow. It's the first day. I'm just gonna wean my way back into the horrendous pain. I have a mountain to climb, which is over those houses over there. So more of this to go. Welcome to Mount Pleasant. There's a museum. This is Main Street. I'm gonna go get something to eat. And then over the mountain we go. So this Huntington and Eccles Canyons National Scenic Byway. So this is, I always call it Fairview Canyon, but it's Eccles Canyon. I just always ignore that. And then you climb a lot to get here. And then there's another big climb to the National Forest. And then there's another big climb to the top of the, what are they? It's just a divide in the route. And then it goes all the way to the top at 9.7. And that's what we're gonna do. So it's gonna be a hard one. All right, I'm on top of the mountain. It was a really hard ride. It's really cold up here, so I can't wait to go down, which will happen in the next, oh, I don't know, 5 or 6 miles. Oh, but it's cold. It's really cold. Welcome to Huntington Canyon. It is a beautiful place. However, when it does thunderstorm, there are flashes. Flashes are bad. So let's keep your fingers crossed for me, folks, so it doesn't turn into a real bad situation. At least I hope not. Jeez. All right. Woohoo. All right, my little break spot here, which is nice. And the road's just up there, which is nice. That means I'm not far off the road. Burned it down. This beautiful place where all these wonderful trees existed. Burned it down. So that was unfortunate. Anyway, a little bit has to do with pine beetle. I am about, I want to say almost 30 miles in over a mountain, which is pretty good, and it's only 4:38. So my next move is go to Huntington. It's miles away because this canyon's really long. It's over 20 miles long. Peaceful place. It's raining. I think it's funny. Every time I go on a bicycle, it rains. It's true. It's out of nowhere. It was supposed to be clear skies, calm winds, beautiful, and it's just raining. Instead of raining. Oh well. I'm used to it now. Look at those formations. Pretty dope. Well, there's the camp. You can see. I'm just hanging out over here. I think I biked over 100 miles today. 100 and maybe 20. I don't know. I think 120. But the nice part was there's about almost 6, maybe even more than 6,000 feet of elevation gain. So 120 miles, 6,000 feet plus. Pretty good. I can't complain about that. It was basically a climb from Payson all the way to Fairview, and then climb was basically nonstop until you get to the pass of Eccles and Huntington Canyon. So the plan is to go to bed, call my wife, say I love her so much, and hit it really. I think I'm gonna maybe leave a little later than I normally do. I'm gonna sleep until probably like, and for me later is like 5 a.m. I'd like to go through Buckhorn when it's at least a little light, so I can get some good, beautiful photos like that, videos. Anyway, so that's the plan. I'm in this BLM site. It doesn't look like anyone's coming anyway, so this might be the perfect night for me. And that's about it. I'm gonna go hit the hay now. Woohoo, this is exciting. I'm tired. Welcome to the outside of Buckhorn Draw. The only thing I've seen this morning are the water trucks. There have been no other cars. So I think Buckhorn is gonna be pretty empty. Just to give you heads up, folks, there is service up until you get into Buckhorn, and then of course service goes away. There's even service up at the Wedge, and actually 5G service. You can see the towers right on the edge, possibly, if I wasn't bouncing around so much. They're up there, and let's see if we can zoom in. The tower's up there, so I can't do it. So that is Buckhorn Draw area in the Wedge over that way. I thought about climbing the Wedge, but I am too tired. I was too tired last night, so I pulled over in one of the campsites near where they call like Little Moab for the RC people. And since there's no RC people or any people down here, it was pretty empty, not a soul. There was, I think, one car that passed at like 5 in the morning, and I think it was a work truck, and that was it. So it's pretty empty down here this time of year, especially right before spring break. So it will be more busy soon. All right, so this is the turnoff for Buckhorn. That follows the Cedar Mountain Range front side, or I should say the south side of this ridge line. It follows it all the way out to Route 6 if you go that way. And of course Castledale is 20 miles directly on this road that way. And you can see how this is supposed to be. So we go down here, and the reason why I go this way, folks, is one, it's actually faster than taking the road. Number two, there's no traffic, so that's sweet. Number three, this is actually where, in my opinion, where the actual southern Utah beauty comes in. It's like starts right here. It's probably 9 Mile you can consider as one of those places, but I don't know if it's quite as beautiful. But anyway, here we go into Buckhorn Draw, one of my favorite places in Utah. It's sweet I get to come here. Here we are, folks. The reason why I say the beginning of southern Utah, here it is. You guys wonder, this is probably the closest place to Salt Lake City with its kind of extreme beauty and canyons. I spend the majority of my time here than I do anywhere else. So it's a beautiful place. And no one's even down here, I feel like. There might be one or two campers, but that's about it. Oh, this place is beautiful. The road is horrible. Well, I have it to myself. Buckhorn draw pictograph panel. And the amazing thing is, it's so warm here compared to the rest of it, which is really cold. I have made it 180 miles in first part of day number 2.5. So that's good. I think if I had to go quick, I could do it, but I don't know how long I could sustain doing that. And it was 120 or 125 miles or something with 7,000 feet of elevation gain. So that was a pretty hard day, but this place is amazing. I'm so excited to be here. Like just to be here in the morning of day number 2.5. It's pretty amazing. So there's the bike, and I have this whole place to myself. It's pretty amazing. Probably can't see because of the sun, but it is beautiful here. Anyway, folks. All right, we have made it to the San Rafael, all the way down to the bottom. And that's the bottom of Buckhorn. It was cool. It was a good half an hour ride down. I was going pretty quick, but my intention was to stop down here and derobe and get comfortable, and because it's gonna get hot. It's gonna be 80 degrees today. So, here we go. Goes from 30, like probably it was like 30, it had to be like 35 this morning. And now it's gonna be 80. Sweet. All right, so I am gonna leave the San Rafael swell, or San Rafael River, and head up to the other side of the swell. Once I get near the highway, I'll make a left, and then it's Black Dragon, which is really cool. This place though is so spectacular. I love it so much. It's hard to leave, but I know that if I don't start climbing now, I'm gonna regret it later. All right, goodbye Buckhorn. I just left that canyon right there. That's Buckhorn Draw. And I came up this huge mountain just to go back down for a minute and then go up again. So there's that. So I'm making progress through the dirt. It's not a great road right now, but the swell is never that great. So, well, here I am. I'm about 20 minutes away from Black Dragon, and it's beautiful here, as you can see. I got some unfortunately dying ones, but I got up, I think it's about 1,500 feet, and I have another 400 to go for that last 20 minutes, so it'll be fun. It's like straight up. It's kind of normal in the swell area. You oftentimes have just incredible rises, and a lot of times the mapping systems don't ever get it right, even the best ones. I think it's about, and I know that I unfortunately can't get it. Google says 1,100, but I'm like, oh, hell no. It doesn't take me 2 hours to do 1,100 feet and 11 miles. Oh, look, an old can from God knows when. It takes about, probably, I think, around 2,000 feet. I think that's about right, because I'm feeling it, so it's got to be that. And it's kind of cold up here. So I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot of downhill. That's the undulations that are here. I think that are the reason why I can't measure accurately. So just prepare for a really hard climb, and that's coming from me. I just did 7,000 feet yesterday, and then somehow this one just feels like almost impossible. I know. No, it's because there's more to it. So anyway, get up there, and I can't wait to film at Black Dragon. Woohoo. So that way is like going this way. Boom. Through that is the interstate. And then the interstate actually runs over this way. And you'll be kind of able to see it, but I follow a tower, or I think it's a phone service tower, over down that way. And then it's Black Dragon through here. So this is the turnoff to Black Dragon. It doesn't list Black Dragon, but that's it. It is hard to spot because you go over a hill, you think you passed the area, and you didn't, and it's right here over the hill. Right, so there you go. Turn off. All right, so under the cell phone tower that you can see here, right up there, this is the turn off to Black Dragon. It is not marked, but you can see it now, and that's the best way I could show you. And of course there's a map, but so it's mostly downhill to Black Dragon Wash, but it is pretty gnarly. So I might film that actually, a bit of it. And yeah, it'll be really cool to see. I'm gonna go take a little break in the trees over there, just because I've done that in the past, so I won't do that again. So down there is Black Dragon, and this begins the downhill into it. So we're finally there. So I'm excited. Finally made it to Black Dragon. It was hard. Actually, to get here, a lot harder than I remember. I thought it was all downhill, but most of it is, but not all of it. A lot of it's uphill. So anyway, so all the way down there is Green River. For perspective, folks, you can maybe see it down there. I don't see it. I think it's over where the burning thing is. Anyway, way down. So I get to go way down off this mountain and Black Dragon. All right, here we are, the last section. The funny part is I went to go film them, folks, and it totally didn't let me. So here we go. I'm going to film the last section of Black Dragon. So this is actually the, nicest part anyway. So there's the highway 70. See right over there. And you can see that's the canyon where 70 goes down, and Black Dragon's just around this corner over here. But here we are. You can almost touch the highway in a second once we go around that one corner. So anyway, it's pretty neat. I'm gonna try. Not fuck it up. Excuse my language. I'll just follow these folks. There have been mountain bikers. Usually that's not the case, but it's so nice. Pretty cool. At least they have mountain bikers. I'm fine. The Council of Mountain Bike. Council of Mountain Biking. So, I'm going to try to clear a lot of this, but there's no guarantee because I have bigger wheels instead of my 26ers, and technically 26ers are better off-road, which I don't know about that. I like the grip of the 29. It handles high speeds well, carries a lot of speed, more so than 26 did. And everyone would just be like, that's science, dummy. But you know, somebody's had 26ers his whole life and used to switching to 29er. That does, it carries a lot of speed. There's I-70. All right, Black Dragon. It's hot as crap out here. It's really hot. Here's Black Dragon Wash. There is the rest area that no one ever uses. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's beautiful though. Look, there's even some water, I think, down there. Anyway, speaking of which, I'm gonna have some water. Back section of Black Dragon. Hope you all enjoy. Oh, I'm tired. I've only done like, I don't know, 50 miles of dirt today. So, better get used to it. A lot more to go. That was all right. Lost it there. That was fun. Whoop, up and over. Getting hot. Jeez. Man, no room. At least there is room. A little bit. Not a lot, but there's a little bit. Oh, look at that catchy spot. Ain't nobody. Down under paradise. Anyway, on the map. Woo-wee. Oh my God. Holy hand grenade, Batman. There you go. Everything shook loose. because I'm going fast. Shook loose. See, folks, what you can't see on film is that sometimes when you don't have suspension, you have to feel it. Meaning you have to feel when you start losing traction to do something about it. And sometimes you have to adjust your riding style, or you have to adjust your tires. You have to do something to make sure that you get traction again. Otherwise you'll lose grip, and when you do, that's when, disaster hits. And I'm sure that happens too with people with suspension, but I feel like it's intuitive nature for people who are used to riding rigid frames. It's hard. It's a learning curve. Suspension gives you just that little extra padding and bonus if you make a mistake. Where on rigid frames, you can see I'm looking for any kind of line, any line, at any time. And if you want to go quick, you got to do it quick. And sometimes you miss it, like this. Talk about not having a grip. Not that I'm saying that it's not hard to do this with a suspension bike, and I'm sure it would look a lot cooler. Here we are in the wash, Black Dragon. Doing so much cooler here. Last time up here. Alright, there you go. And that is the descent into Black Dragon Wash. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm glad I didn't die, folks, because that was pretty sketch. Anyway, we made it. Our petroglyphs. You see the sign. There's my bike. Looking nice. After I rattled her up there, that was kind of hard on her. She did a good job. She'll have to learn. She will learn. Anyway, now it's just down all the way down there, through there, to the highway. Hooray! Goodbye, Black Dragon. All right, we did it. We're on the downhill to Green River. You can kind of see it when I zoom in here. All right, folks. So with highways, you always have to enter on the right side. You can't cross over. And there's a little thing that goes over. It said Haydukes, like the Hayduke Trail lives. So now I got some highway mile to Green River. And it's not bad because look at that view. Hoo-wee. It's pretty, and there's not really that much traffic on this highway, so that's the nice part. Right, this is my third night, third and a half day, but I do want to video record this place just in case someone said I did something wrong to it, because I did not. You can see my bike is propped nicely, not touching the wall. See, no wall touch. Don't want to cause any problems. And the bedding's clean. I didn't even touch this one, so I want to make sure I have everything and that I'm not blamed for something. Off. Since going through the desert is problematic for the people that work here, I guess. All right, so here you go. Looks pretty good. That's it. Right, we made it to the place they Rochambeaued me to, the Comfort Inn. That's all right, because I can just go there and eat at the Tamarisk. Woohoo. Wow, this is amazing. They just repaved the road to this spot. And so I don't know how long it goes for, but anyway, that's amazing. As far as the eye can see, apparently. Red sky in the morning. Sailors take warning. All right, well, I at least know that, and that's pretty true according to the forecast. I am about 5 miles outside of Green River. It's all the way down there, so I've already climbed a lot. And I got a lot more climbing to go, but since this road is paved, and I had no idea they did this, wow, this is a stroke of luck. I'll take it. Just like the cloud cover might be a stroke of luck for me, folks. Can't ask for better conditions for riding, so I'm pretty stoked. This is great. Look how fast they go. They're so quick. Okay, well, here she is, full glory. So I no one ever uses this road. I just don't know why bicycle tourists, I see so many use the highway. All of them skip Route 6 or Old 6. And honestly, I think it's the best way to tour. No cars. Lots of cars. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, more of 6. We're almost to the junction, another like 5 miles or so. Kind of cool. Yesterday, I was at Black Dragon, which is right in the middle there. And now it's 8 a.m. and I'm all the way on the other side of basically the beginning of the water pocket fold. Kind of stretches all the way down to the bottom of Utah. It's pretty amazing. It goes on forever, but the swell is kind of the first part of this swell up. That's why I call it the swell. Kind of like a wave, but of rock. And that's what we went through yesterday when I went through Black Dragon. And this is the other side, and then not too much further over this way. I don't want to make people dizzy. Over that way is the LaSalle's. They're getting snowed on. And then I'm going up through that right over there. It's a beautiful morning. It's like 55, 60 degrees. I have this road to myself, so it's been pretty nice. It's just this airplane. Sweet. And I'm about to go to 10 Mile, which is just not far up there. You can see the exit sign maybe, just a little bit. And right up through. So I'll probably be in Moab sooner rather than later. Sweet. All right, so it's pretty much downhill from the highway all the way down. It's a slight slope. And you come in this wash, you come out here from Old 6, and it directly connects to this road here. And I don't know what it is, Forest Road something. Anyway, there's a lot of traffic on it. So looks like I'm just gonna take my time. And hopefully the further back I go, the less people. So that's the hope. All right, so apparently I came down the road when everybody else came down the road. Anyway, that was fun. It's like as soon as I dropped in, everybody else followed me. Go figure. Ugh. Anyways, this guy had to dust me, so that was really fun. I love being dusted after doing like 100 or 200 plus miles and getting dusted. Anyway, through Utah at that, not easy. Anyway, so there's a T. You can kind of see, if I zoom in, you can see the sign. There you go. And that's the turnoff from after the highway. You go down the dirt road that connects to Old 6. And you come straight, you come to this formation here, this weird formation, and the power lines, and make a left. And that's where you come. You can see most people head that way because no one knows anything about anything else other than what they do all the time. So there's a lot to see. So this is really cool. And I feel like the transmission lines are giving me some weird back pain, so I'm getting out of here. Well, here we are, back in the desert. You get out to nowhere pretty quick. So this is actually still Airport Road. So once you, basically, I forgot it while I was standing there because the electric lines were giving me some heebie-jeebies, but Airport Road comes up over this berm here, right next to me, and goes down this hill. And there's a T that takes you to 10 Mile, where we're heading. Wait, hold on. Over there, there's the T. That's where we're heading, 10 Mile. So you go down that road, and then you make a left. I think it is signed actually, so you know where you're going. And then if you're a regular cycle tourist and you don't want to do the extra, like all the way to the top, which could be kind of rainy up there, I hope not. Might sure up some of the sand, but either way, it's not good. You would follow the other, just this airport road, where you just never get off this road, and it takes you all the way past that horrible bridge that connects, you know, over the railroad tracks that connects the road, with no shoulder. I call it Death Bridge. It really is truly a terrible thing that no matter which way you ride, north or south into Moab, on road, it is terrifying. So that would be something that would be nice if they would just change how terrifying road rides are to Moab. That would be fantastic, and more cycle tourists I think would be able to actually go see it. But for now, it's just all vehicle traffic, like in and out. I mean, I've done both north, south, east, west. I've gone like all over past Moab, and yeah, that's the worst. So that's why I go through 10 Mile. Wait a minute. I missed it. There it is, the 10 Mile T. So you'll see the road goes immediately left, and then we make the like instant right, and then go over that little berm. Brief moment of sun and clarity, and the clouds come back again, which is fine. It's beautiful here. I'm taking a 2-minute break. Just came all the way over those hills over here, and the nice part is 10 Mile Canyon is just right over there, right around that corner, and then up. It's probably covered in sand, but we will see. Hopefully it's nice. I saw electric bikers, so it could be a blessing that they are trying it. So that means I can hopefully make it. I might have to let a little air on my tires. They've been geared up for road for many miles, but I haven't encountered anything, at least sandy wise, that I couldn't handle with these tires. I just know eventually I'm going to run out of traction and I'm going to have to capitulate and do a little bit more work on fixing it. So I haven't really described what I was taking with me. Backpack, all my clothes, extras. I got a down jacket in there, a windbreaker / moderate rain jacket. I just get wet eventually because all rain jackets get wet. I just, I don't know. It just doesn't work. I carry extra water in there eventually. Anything miscellaneous wise, like toothbrush, little things to get through. My cutting board and my cook set and my tea kettle and my titanium tea kettle and my titanium plate are in there. I put my titanium fork on the top side in the tool area. Don't worry, don't use any chemicals that are bad for you on my bicycle or near me. I also put a bunch of food in there that I possibly can, all heavy food. Anything heavy goes in the middle sack there. My gas is in there too. And a gallon of water currently is in there as well. Eventually what I'm thinking is probably I'll have a gallon of water on this on my back, which is fine, and a gallon of water in there, which is fine. And 2 gallons of water should get me through all the way. I do have a backup bladder just in case I want to make things a little easier. Instead of 2 gallons, half gallon or gallon and a half, probably 2. Anyway, anyways, I do back up sometimes. Water isn't key. In here, I've mentioned before in my other, earlier when I was biking over the mountain, delirious, 2 down jackets, one for sleeping, one for extra. So I have a down jacket in my bag and I combine it with the one extra in there, and then I'll exercise in that down jacket, or those 2 down jacket if it's that cold. And I'll layer each individual layer in my rain jacket / windbreaker goes over both of them if it gets really, really cold, and I'm usually fine. But just in case it gets really 0 degrees, which is possible. Excuse me, folks, it's Utah. I may be in a t-shirt right now, but in a few days it could be snowing here. It's just the way it is in Utah. Not only is the landscape dramatic, but the weather is as well, and that's probably why it correlates. Anyway, but that's not causation. Oh. Anyway, so I also, along with my 2-person tent, I'm really particular about that, which is the, oh God, what do I sleep in all the time? No, I'll go back to you, I forget. I'll show you some other point when it's out. There's a 2-person tent in there, folks. I do the jungle bivvy, and a 2-person pad in there in the Ortlieb. And then on top of it, I strapped on extra padding for warmth at night that goes under my 2-person, and kind of wraps around the mattress, and then provides some really, really good warmth, even down to 0 once again, because there's a possibility we might run into 0-degree temperatures. Who knows? In also my sack, I have 2 pairs of gloves. I usually do I have this weird synthetic gloves that I bought at a recreation outlet in Salt Lake, and I put those on, the mittens, and then it gets really cold. I put the wool actually over that mitten. I noticed that the extra fiber on the outside keeps it warmer when it's really, really cold. I don't think, I've been down to 15 or 20 or 15 or maybe even lower degrees last year when I did the what loop was it? One of the roadie loops in the wintertime. And it got down to probably negatives. And that's when I've actually started feeling the cold. But that's not the plan. We're not going to be in any kind of environment like that. It can, once again, get down to probably 15 degrees at the very worst, and hopefully not 0, but there's a potential. You never know. It's Utah. So there you go. In the top that I didn't mention is a food, supplies, anything you can imagine, miscellaneous, but most of the time it's food. And I'm like forgetting that I can use it. I just get in a mode where I'm like, oh, I got all this to extra space, but when I start packing food, I'll be thankful. Also in here is my stove. So I use the Whisper Light. I think it's the best one because you just use gasoline. So it's like, you know, I run out of fuel and, you know, all I need is a gas station and 20 cents if they're not jerks about it. Sometimes they complain, but anyways, people complain about a lot of stuff. And then I have bug net in there because I'll be going in the middle of nowhere. And I'd rather do that than bug spray. Just cover up and do that. And then in there, I keep extras, like extra food and stuff that I can cram in there. Oh, and my water purifying kit is in there as well. So I have everything for, like, you know, being out here is getting my own water, doing my own stuff. Anyway, so that's it. That's the bike. The bike is new too. For the first time I'm taking on a big trip. It's my titanium one. It's the Salsa Timberjack titanium. It's definitely more capable than my 26er by being a 29er. So I'm noticing the big difference between the two tire sizes, especially for like rollover. It is kind of strange in sand that I don't have any potential to move through it like I did with my at least fatter tires that I had on my 26er. However, it's like, you know, those things can be like fixed over time, but I don't know if there's enough clearance and enough room to really go any bigger with the rear tire. When I saw it, I was like, I gotta go for it. It was on sale. Saturday Cycles in downtown Salt Lake. I'll give you some props for that. Thanks for the sale. I did have to replace the rear wheel. It was garbage. Is the effect, and I went from the effect to the trace, and then I just read worse reviews on the trace, but the trace has been working great, flawlessly for the last like 400 miles or 300 miles. So it's been doing fairly good. I haven't really had any issues with it. And I've been really running it through everything it's got. I added the Crow Mag pedals. They're really solid. I really like them. My feet don't hurt. It's like the first time I've gone on a tour, my feet just feel like great. So they did a really good job there. Running the Saints again. I always run Saints. Flawless, bomb-proof, everything. I got the dropper seat, the Exa, and that really helps with, you know, when I was doing Black Dragon, dropping that seat is really awesome. Sometimes, like, I need more reliability when it comes to a seat post, and I don't need exactly like instant up and downs. So that's why I decided, oh, fuck that. Excuse my language, but that's why I'm not doing that. I added a stereo JBL, which I've added before, I talked about before, which is great. You can see I can hold extra water or Gatorades up top there, which I've done forever. And of course, I added one more to it this time around because now it's like extra water is extra water. That's great. So now my bike holds lots and lots of water. Maybe I even have too much water, but don't ever say such things because you never know the outcome of your circumstances. Like, for instance, I feel rain. Anyway, it's like perfect outside, folks. It really is. It's beautiful here. Anyway, all right, here we go to Moab. All right, so we're up here at the top. The road tees right down there. You might be able to see it. And goes down into 10 Mile Wash, which are heading right down there. I can zoom in. There's 10 Mile Wash. It's beautiful down here. It looks like Moab. You can see everywhere. So the island of the sky is just right up there. So not too much more climbing. I saw electric bicyclists, so that was kind of cool. So I guess it's like changing a little bit. Not really quiet. All right, here's the cutoff to 10 Mile. Oh, excuse me. It was sandy for the last mile and a half. I mean, it was bad, but I made it through. It took me about 25 minutes or so, longer than I wanted. Anyway, obviously the roads aren't in great shape. However, it's really pretty here, and I'm almost on 10 Mile, and I know it's going to be sandy going down in it, but that climb that you see, it goes up along there, ends at that basic point around, and then goes up to that point, and then I go all the way to the top, which is actually fairly nice, hopefully, typically, but we'll see. I don't know. I mean, the roads are pretty bad this year. All right, so down this road is where the 10 Mile Canyon, I think it's Calf Canyon meet. Anyway, so down there, boom, the very mouth of the canyon. You can see the road conditions are just wonderful. I'm kidding. They're gnarly. There's certain sections I've been able to ride actually most of it, which I'm like pretty impressed with, except for the last like 100 meters until I got to the rock. I could actually ride it, so it's gnarly. I could probably deflate my tires, but I don't think I need to at this point. I'm almost there, so wish me luck. I'm where 10 Mile and Calf Canyon are, like where they converge. There is a spring, some water. Blessed be. Anytime there's water out in the desert, it's great. I mean, obviously the forecast said no rain, but with the amount of rain that was given the forecast, it really isn't that much rain. I mean, I'm gonna get wet one day, but I have enough clothes to make it through, and by that point hopefully make a fire. But if everything's wet, then it'll be real tricky, but I've done it before, so I know I can do it again. It's hard when it's cold too. It just makes it a little bit more tricky, but it is doable. Anyway, so love being in this canyon. It's beautiful in here, but I'm gonna soon to leave and head up the hill and make a right after I go down a little ways, and head up to Island in the Sky district or area. I won't make it to the national park up there, but I do go through Island in the Sky when I'm on Lockhart. But I wanted to, just for, you know, the sake of knowing the flora and fauna and, you know, the surroundings of these areas, and of course the conditions. Pretty sandy, by the way, folks. It took me a lot longer than I thought, and I had to shove my bike all the way here. And now it looks like I might have to shove my bike all the way up there, but the good thing is the road is mostly made up of stone, so I don't have to really worry that much. It's all just rock all the way up until the last part, which I'll probably have to walk because the roads are terrible. All right, here we go. Up. I didn't get here until 11, so I anticipate this is going to be a gnarly journey, but at least it's beautiful here. I just have to move on. All right, well, that was hard. I had to hike a bike all the way through here to here, and I might have to hike a bike more, but we'll find out when I get over that hill. Maybe the trail gets better, maybe not. The sand isn't horrendous, so it's going to take me a while to go over the ridge, so I better start. I won't do much filming because I want to get at least to the top of the mountain and out of this horrible sand pit. I mean, for miles, so. Just past that rock, but there's a bunch of people camping by it. can tell the road is terrible now because of the heavy traffic. I'm hoping the other road isn't. From what I remember, it was pretty good. So I got another mile, apparently, of this, and then I'll be done. So wish me luck, because it hasn't been very lucky. Here I am under a rock, per usual. Sheltering myself from the wind. I got another, looks like another 5 miles of sand. The whole road is sanded over. Excuse me, and there's no maintenance. It looks like for a while. You probably understand why. Well, that was nice. A little break that I took, but I'm gonna try to make it over the to the road and then down to Moab. Woohoo! Man, it makes you work all the way. If you go on the wrong day like I did, it's a lot of hike-a-bike in the sand. You can see it. Most of it was like that. I walked for like miles in it, and then I'm able to ride some of this road, but a lot of it I hike. Like I'm gonna hike out of it because it's sandy, and then hopefully it gets better after this, because all I got right now, all I'm running on is hope it gets better, because man, it sucks to hike a bike this far. Might be more to come, but I'm thinking if we get a little rain, it might be my luck, because oof, this sand, it's a killer. This is the intersection, but this is where it goes down to the bike path. So this is all I got time for, because the traffic's crazy. Hey, there it is. That's folklore. Ready? It sucks though. Woohoo! It's really windy, so it's gonna be a slow slog into Moab, but that's okay. So just take my time. All right, well, bike path in Moab. Woohoo! Goal 1, which is get to Moab, is there. Now goal 2 is not being blown off my bicycle, so that's the next thing I'm gonna think about. And whoops, my chain made a lot of mess. I probably got messed too, but I don't really care. I gotta roll, dude. This ain't about fun. Sometimes this is about what it means to be in the wild, you know? Jack London style, bro. Jack London. I don't even know whether he actually was in the wild, but I am. And this is the crazy life I live. Woohoo. Look at that. I got all sorts of... It's a good thing I use chemical free. It's more like some oil, like olive oil, that gets on my chain. So that's about it. Gets everywhere though. I like to spray it down, but I feel like that's just stupid at this point. Maybe wipe it off. That's what I'll do when I get to town. Woohoo, Moab. You can see the trails everywhere. It's pretty cool. And this is just straight downhill. So that's really nice, especially after the day I had. All right, more to go. All right, well, I found this little trail. Came up here to relax. It looks over Moab. So I stayed it up the creek. It was awesome. I just locked my bike to the picnic table and went across the street to the, not even across the street, just around the block to the supermarket, city market. Got my supplies there. Got a nice cup of coffee at Starbucks. And then went back to my campsite, packed up, ate McDonald's, made phone calls to people, really and starting to milk this experience, because it's going to be beautiful through here. And it's just, I'm going to spend a lot of time alone for the next day, and almost 2 days I'll be alone starting now. So that's pretty sweet. Matt is definitely going to meet up, so that's cool. I get a companion, but I'll meet him in Indian Creek. The last 4 days have been a trip. I guess it would be like 4 days at noon, I think. 3.5, yeah. have been really crazy. I was having a good time. However, coming into Moab, there's a headwind, and I had to go miles and miles and miles in the headwind. It's crazy. Over there is the Colorado boom, and it comes out, and I'm about to follow it in that direction, and it goes through this canyon, and I follow this road all the way to the pass. I'm going to show you the pretty part, not the nasty part. And then from the pass, I go into Lockhart Basin, well, on the road toward Lockhart Basin, but first I get to Chicken Corners, and that's when Lockhart begins. And basically it's a hike-a-bike for a few miles up the canyon. So that's what I anticipate today is going to be, a lot of hike-a-bike until I get to Island in the Sky District, the little sliver that is in Lockhart Basin. I have it marked on the map. I don't know exactly where. I've passed it so many times. The sign had been taken down that was there before. I don't know what happened. I think someone may have stole it or something stupid. Anyway, so it's way out there. If I could get just south toward as close as I can to Indian Creek, it's gonna get really hard. I'm gonna sleep on the road somewhere, wherever I get to, or however I feel. I don't anticipate getting through Lockhart, and if I do, then that would be amazing because it's gnarly. All right, well, welcome to the Moonflower Canyon, or the mouth of the grocery store's namesake. Anyway, we are here in the mouth of the canyon, of Moonflower Canyon, next to petroglyphs, and watching the sunrise. It's beautiful. Actually, I'd say this massive cottonwood tree is more beautiful. Amazing. And it's alive, it's budding. Springtime in the desert. Hopefully we get a little bit of moisture, because you can see the surface conditions are going to be kind of hellish. I'm used to it. So a lot of it will be probably good sections of hike-a-bike. What I can count on probably, oh, look at all these people that rode over there, all over the petroglyphs. So in Buckhorn, what we saw were pictographs, and these are petroglyphs, minus of course the idiots from 1900 or whatever. Anyway, so you can see all this art, and that's a petroglyph. And a pictograph is rarer because they're painted on and they stayed there for millennia, as opposed to these were carved on. Now there's speculation of age, who knows? I don't know the complete history, and I'd have to have an expert tell me, but it is cool seeing. And definitely cool experiencing. Anyway, it's a beautiful canyon. You can tell why people were here for millennia, because I mean, these massive cottonwood trees, it's amazing. I feel like in Mordor when I see these things. That one's big, but this one over here is quite amazing. You can see where it branches out. It's amazing. Anyway, here. Look how pretty. Cottonwood trees and the green. And it's a little area. Spring has arrived here. Just right here. It's cool to see it like fully bloomed. The northern part, man, nothing's blooming up north. And then just down here, man, look. Crazy. That's really cool. Yes, it's time. There's oxygen. Or carbon dioxide, I should say. Enough. Open up. Oh, look at the beauty. Spring is here. Leaves are fully budded. They're out. enjoying the sunlight, same as me. I'm enjoying the clean air. Woohoo. So I went up this hill. I think I go up another large hill. And I'm at the top. And then I go down, down, down. And then I go all the way to the top again. And I do that for like, I don't know, like 20 some odd times. So anyway, then I'm in Indian Creek. So, all right, raw pass. There we go. In its full glory. You can see the Colorado. Weird thing is there are boats on it. And you'll actually, if I go by, you'll actually hear them. It's kind of weird. It's weird to hear boats all the way out here. I'm following that Colorado River all the way that way. The Colorado, and all the way over there, I believe is Chicken Corners. And then I'll go to the left up that canyon and on to Lockhart Basin that follows that shelf right above and into Island of the Sky and the national park. So that's close. All right, I made it almost to the top of Lockhart, or to the start of Lockhart. This is like the canyon that leads to it. It's gnarly. It's hike a bike. You could ride the first like little bit, but then after that, it's all hike a bike if you're going up. If you're going down, maybe. But there are some really gnarly undulations that I don't think anybody on a mountain bike or any other vehicle really should take. Anyway, so I'm gonna go up to the crest of the road up here. I'm not too much further away. This is kind of the hard part. And then it's like pseudo downhill actually once I get to the top of this, because you're following the Colorado, so you slightly go downhill all the way to a certain section. Then you climb back into Indian Creek because you're climbing back up into the Abajos. So you're basically going down the Colorado until you go back up again. So it kind of works in the desert that way. It is kind of warm. So the weather's warm and very nice. I'm very tired. But at least I got the nice weather. The descent down into Chicken Corners was pretty gnarly, and there's a lot of sand, which I thought because there hasn't been a lot of rain. But somehow this desert is blooming. You can see so much green in here. So maybe they anticipate rain before the rain. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna go up through there and then around that bend, and then it gets really narrow and there's a push all the way up and it's gnarly. So that's what I'm preparing for. Welcome. I bumped my knee on my bike, but I'm okay. Like feeling when you hit your funny bone, you just hurts like a mother trucker. Hopefully it doesn't get too swollen, but for the time being, it's gonna get swollen. Whatever. Anyway, I'm on Lockhart now. I ran into people doing Lockhart in a day, and they're like almost done with Lockhart and have to climb that massive Hurrah Pass, so it might take a while. But I don't have any Hurrah Passes to go over, or that other pass that's not even labeled. That's the Killer Bees. It depends on where they stop. I don't think that anyone's going to pick them up in Chicken Corners, but maybe. Anyways, I don't even know how this is officially done, or if there's even an FKT for it. Most of it's like carry your bike, like cyclocross. And then it's like cyclocross all the way across. Right now it's gotten really good. right around this corner right here, it's okay, it's smooth, but it goes downhill, and there's a couple spots that are pretty hard to ride. I would probably walk it if, like, well, right now I would walk it because it's dangerous and I don't have a partner. I ran into those people and they were walking it because they're smart. Otherwise, you'd fall in the middle of nowhere and then, that'd be it. So I'm really stoked because I just have to go around that corner and then another corner. And then I'm just going to go as far as I can. And it's 1:17 right now. I'm going to go as far as I can today on the road. And then I'm just going to pull over and go to bed. And hopefully it's not gnarly the next day, but I've seen the weather report. It says it's going to be blowing. So I think winds from the south are good for me because that means it keeps the good weather here. But when the low pressure, I'm certain at some point comes down, it's going to come down pretty hard in this area like it always does. I've been here many times when it does it. Every time it seemed to come actually to this very spot, it snows and rains on me every time. And I've been down here. I've done this a few times. I even have videos past of me doing Lockhart Basin, and I think it snowed on me. Anyways, and last time I did Lockhart Basin on my last video, because there's more than one video of it. This is my third video of doing Lockhart Basin, but I think it also did, it rained on me. So it's supposed to possibly rain on Sunday, but maybe not. I've looked at the reports, they say no, but usually I'm not very lucky like this, because this is pretty grand weather. I'm pretty stoked about all this and how beautiful everything is and open. The problem is the wind is fierce. So that's the only issue. But other than the wind, everything else is perfect. I mean, the clouds are coming in. It's pretty amazing to be here right now. Look at that. You can think all of this island in the sky, I think, is up there right above. Camera really can get a good shot. There you go. Look what I get to look at. Pretty amazing. And I'm under a rock and it's blocking the sun. There's a rock. There's a bike. There's my heavy backpack. Not for long. I'm gonna get some food out of it today. And I gotta eat those carrots actually. I got some cheese. I'm gonna do it upright. I'm gonna do some potato Brussels sprouts. Probably first Brussels sprouts, see how much room I have in the pan. I don't know if I want to do two. Maybe I'll just do Brussels sprouts and miso. And, oh man, what else can I do? A whole bunch of stuff. So that's the plan. I'm gonna do that. I got, obviously you see my fluid set up. Just Gatorade bottles. They're really easy to replace. So I'm not drinking the plastic for very long. Any other bottles wouldn't work. And the way I configure it too is just to have it sit next to my bag and extra water. And you can see really jamming in there with water, obviously. I have a gallon in there in the center. I put a gallon in there, but I have all my like cold items underneath the water. And I know it's like not technically like safe or whatever, but when you can, have the water in there, it's hard to heat up. And the water is also hard to cool down. So it's not hot enough around here for the water to get that hot. It stays relatively cold in there. And I can put cheese in there or whatever, and it stays Yeah, pretty cold for a while. Like, obviously they have their limits, like a few days. It is questionable, but I still will eat it. It's better than eating the packet meals. I got really sick doing that, and I had to make a change, and my change was just fresh food. That's it. It's not very complicated. Fresh food, all you need is like some salt sometimes and butter, and I don't even have meat, but in the case I have something kind of like a meat substitute, but miso, and all of it combined makes it really good meal. That's what I plan to do tonight. So I have my tripod for that, so you guys get to be in that. This is my first actual solo, even though I've done this many times, solo mission on Lockhart. It being 122, now the trail seems to be getting a little better. I might be able to actually make some distance now, because that last section is difficult. So as I start going a little bit further, I think I have to climb all the way up there, and then maybe somehow I come downhill at some point, because you can't climb forever. But that's Lockhart. You just climb. You go downhill for a minute, or less than a minute, like 20 seconds, and then you climb for minutes. So I'm gonna climb all the way over to that point over there. It is really windy. That's gonna be the one gnarly thing today, is finding a campsite that doesn't have crazy amounts of wind. Something free of wind. I was hoping I get lucky and not have a crazy windstorm, but it doesn't seem like I'm lucky right now. All right, well, we'll see. Here we go. All right, so those are the cells, and I'm along the Colorado, kind of. I'm going up over this way and wedges around Lockhart, around this corner over here, and then I go all the way back through, and then I think I'm at the national park at that point. I don't know. They used to have a sign. I don't know if they put the sign back. Anyway, I'm hoping. Can't imagine a lot of people come back here, maybe any rangers at all. I think it's like, if something happens, then they come. So, anyway, maybe they come, maybe. It's a pretty isolated place, but it's beautiful. I think I have a little bit more canyon downs and ups, and then up, maybe, perhaps, and then boom, over. So I'm taking the shade break, because you don't get shade very often. In the desert by a hoodoo. No lie, the hoodoo is shading me. Oh, it's so nice. If the clouds come in, then it's gonna get cool. That's okay too, because then I won't be hot and I won't be wasting water. And also in the desert, remember folks, take advantage of shade. You don't get it very often, so don't bypass it. Take the opportunity to relax. Let your body not get destroyed by the sun. I passed motorcyclists, so there's a lot of people on this road. People from the beginning, doing the Lockhart today, and me trying to get just as far as I can today. I'm not trying to do Lockhart today. I don't think so at this point. It's about 2 o'clock, so I don't think that Lockhart is something that I should do. I think I should find a place to sleep that's not exposed, as you can hear, and try to hope it doesn't rain. Anyway, there's a lot of factors. If it does rain, it's not supposed to rain very much apparently, but we'll see. I don't know what it'll do in the desert here. It just might get really, really windy. I've seen it before. It comes in like clouds. It's really strange. So, anyways, everything is starting to bloom, so be surprised. So, here we go. Lockhart Basin. Woohoo. It hurt your butt. Alright, well, here's my gear. And I gotta go into the wind. Into the wind. But the really cool part is, there's the needles. So, woohoo. Excited about that. And the Bajo's behind it. You can see Horse Mountain. And behind that is the bears. There's, we can't see those. It looks like some wind is moving in, so there might be a little dust stormy, but you can still see them, so it's not that bad. Just way out there. Cool. Look how beautiful. I just got a hike a bike section right here, but before I did, there was like this perfect campsite. It's almost tempting. I'm not supposed to be in Indian Creek, and this place is great. Problem is somebody else will inevitably drive up and be pissed that it's taken. But there's more spaces they could sleep at. I think what I'm gonna do is bugger off and keep moving. Because the less miles I have tomorrow, it means the more time I'll get to spend airing my shit out and preparing for the next day. So, it's weird to hear airplanes because they sound like cars. They're just airplanes. Anyway, so maybe I stay here. Maybe I don't. I probably won't, knowing me. I'm just gonna wait out some of the high parts of the sun so I don't bake myself to death. And then once it gets a little cooler in about, I don't know, say probably in another half an hour, I'll take off and see how far I want to go. All right, Lockhart Basin. Woohoo. All right, this is my little spot. I spend some minutes in. I said 30, but I'm cutting it quick. I'm cutting it close. Ooh. I don't want to run out of sunlight before I can't make decisions. That bothers me. So onward. To give you a little perspective, here I am, it's 6 o'clock. I gotta go up and around that point over there before I'm done. So it's getting cold and windy. And next, I don't know, a few miles over that point would be nice, just because then I could be in Indian Creek and off of Lockhart in like 2 minutes. So that's the plan. And it's a big climb, so here we go. After this big downhill, there's gonna be a big climb. All right, I have one of the few moments where I'm actually filming myself, but it was gnarly. The wind is really bad. So hopefully it calms down, but it's really cold now. Anyway, there you go. I made camp. Lockhart Basin. Ew. It is like 30 now. So I gotta get warm. Oh wow. Look at that sunrise. You know what I really love? When you think it's gonna be a cloudy day and all of a sudden you at least get to see the warm glow of the light. I'm just kidding. It's probably going to be beautiful. There's Needles over there, folks. I made it to Needles. That was my goal. I'm just right outside Indian Creek. I decided to stop here because I figure it's going to be busy. It's Utah's spring break. Part of the reason why I do this is because my occupation, which I'm not going to say for protection or whatever. I don't care. Since I post these videos, I don't like to tell people everything about me, but I'm sure some of you know. Anyways, so I'm gonna travel right through there tomorrow, but today I wait for Matt. So this is kind of a rest day for me. I get to bop along. It's just pretty cool down Lockhart. Well, the last of it, like the little tiny sliver of Lockhart I have left. And I'm going to there. So I basically accomplished my goal, which was the swell, or from Salt Lake in a day to the swell, Black Dragon in a day, and then to this in a day, and then when Matt gets here, it's going to be that. Hopefully I can force Matt in a day to Ruin. So basically all the way through Needles and into New Ruin Park in a day, and then over the Horse Mountain, which I'm going to zoom in on because, folks, I can see Horse Mountain from here. The bane of my existence for many years. I've been trying to get over this pass, and every single time there's snow. And it looks like, to my delight, there is snow up there, but only on certain areas. So once I get to Horse Mountain, that's funny, I can zoom into Horse Mountain here. You probably could see it better. Oh, now it's glitching. Didn't like 5 times. All right, now see all the way. Horse Mountain is been something that I can't get over. And you can see the thing that comes out of Sweet Alice. It's a really high peak, and obviously it's never really open this time of year, but this might be the year. It might actually be passable. So Matt and I are gonna try. And it's cold. I mean, it is really cold. And that actually plays to our favor, actually. The colder it is, the better that we can get over the mountain. And once we cross over the mountain, our plan is to, if we can, follow the ridge line. If we can't, we have to bail, but go down and around. Connect to height, do Hans Flat. Hopefully that is going to be something we're going to think about, because we have to clear it in one day, because you don't need a permit. And that's the thing, we're only going to pay for a permit to cross through Canyonlands, and that's the only thing we're going to pay for. We're not going to pay for what is it, the sleeping in a place in Canyonlands, which is more money. I don't think it's that much more, but you know, anything that you can save. We plan on actually sleeping right outside Canyonlands National Park, in one of the BLM or whatever it is. It's probably U.S. Forest Service campsites. Oh, there goes the sun. The brief moment brevity has left the building. Well, hopefully the sun comes back at some point. There's sun everywhere, and now it's all gone. Welcome to Indian Creek, and specifically Indian Creek Falls. As you can see, there's a little bit of water, which is really sweet. If I was desperate, I could get some of that water. There's the water. But I'm not desperate. In fact, I have more than I need. I'm gonna meet Matt. here. So I've been lumping around Indian Creek this morning. Normally I'd be hitting the trail hard, trying to get through Canyonlands, but I gave myself an extra day just in case I couldn't make it. And I'm kind of glad I did. I'm exhausted. My butt is killing me. Everything hurts. It's been pretty gnarly to do each of those sections in a day. I feel like I've been on the bike for 2 weeks, though it's only been, this is the morning of the 5th day. So, a little difficult. Weather has been pretty much perfect. There's like last night was bad. I would have been here at Indian Creek Falls, probably trying to sleep exactly at this very spot. Except I was hit by a rainstorm last night, which prompted me to go to bed early. It rained until I went to sleep, and God knows when that was. I was like right away, as soon as I got everything packed or warm, and I was warm, and I was in my sleeping attire. I went right to bed. I didn't even bother to take my spandex off. I was so exhausted. And the wind woke me up once, like trying to blow my tent over. But then after that, everything calmed down. And I think that's when I went like steady asleep. So, anyway, it's been a journey. It's been quite a journey, as you guys can see. I've been hit by a lot of different factors on top of course, like, you know, doing the really hard stuff. But it's been worth it. It's been really good. Next is, of course, Matt at Payson Cow Pasture Campground. If I can't find anything there, I can text him. He's probably heading down about now, because I imagine he must be here by the afternoon or evening, but Matt is Matt. And Matt only shows up when Matt wants to. So I don't know when that's going to be. We'll see. There's no service down here at all. Even though it could be easily done, I think they do this on purpose. This area is service free. I actually did get service on a rock talking to Chelly, which was really sweet. I was excited about that. And look what I'm under, these cool formations. Anyway, so that's the plan. I get a nice relaxed day because I only bike like a few miles to Indian Creek this morning, and then sat on a rock and talked to Chelly unexpectedly, and then bumped down to the falls. I'll probably wait until, you know, more people go, and then I'll go up to the road. It's just hard trying to get back into society right like this, because there's a lot of people actually here. Kind of shocking. All right, well, here we are in the beautiful Indian Creek. Specifically, we're in Creek Pasture Campground. It is wicked busy over there, but these last two campsites don't have anyone, and so I took the one, of course, that's the furthest away and closest to the rocks, because I figured I'd have better chances with the wind if I'm closer to these things. There's a fire pit. Oh, and well, we won't have time for that. And Matt will be here at like 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. So that's exciting. He's coming bearing gifts of grandeur. Anyway, so this is what my campsite looks like. It's really great, actually. I would have put my tent over there, but it is not flat, and I want my back to work, so I put it over here. And the best part is, when I fall asleep, I can just easily sit down, take my shoes off, and crawl into my bag, so I'm not like desperate to get in and out. Which will be nice because the next few days I will be desperate getting in and out. Anyway, and the bathrooms are right over there, and it's beautiful. So anyway, this is it. Creek Pasture Campground and Indian Creek. All right, look at the glory of Indian Creek. Creek Pasture, Indian Creek. This is, you can see the whole thing. It's beautiful. And there's service in spaces, which is really weird because I've come here a lot and there's never been service. So the nice part is the campground over there has very few people, and my spot has very few people too. So, and it's actually the spot that I got with my wife and her sister and Maddie and my old dog Wolfie, and we hiked that way. So yeah, anyway, nostalgia. Ironically, I get the same site that's open. It's pretty cool. There are the Apollos. Matt finally got his rim to seal, which makes me feel better. I feel like singing Kissed by a Rose. Da 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 da. Anyway, so there is the Abajos, and us little ants are in this ant mobile, and we have to make our way all the way on top of this large mountain through all of these formations if we can score a permit. But if we can't score a permit, then we're gonna have to turn around and go through the BLM land up to the top, which is just as cool. It's just a different view. It doesn't really matter. Matt and I have done both routes, so. That'd be a bummer if they turned us back. Yeah, but we just wouldn't care. We just keep going. And we don't stress out anymore about like the what ifs. We just kind of just do. So now we're gonna go, well, I guess if our lives depended on it, we would do something about it, I believe. But anyway, so we're gonna go make our way to the guard station. We're gonna score a permit. We're gonna bike all the way through the national park today and get somewhere at the end of the national park and probably try to sleep around Ruin Park. After that, we're gonna try to get on top of the Abajos if we can via Horse Mountain. We've attempted to do this many times and we've always been turned around. There was one time actually we made it to the top of Sweet Alice around this time of year. And that was what, 2017? Yeah, yep, that's what it was. And we actually made it all the way to Sweet Alice and all the way through the springs and all the way down through a trail. And the snow was, for the most part, except for the beginning part of the trail, was non-existent. It was pretty cool. So our goal is pretty big, actually. It's going to be a long day in the saddle again. But it's a long afternoon, I guess, at this point. But Matt had to set up his shit, which is good. I want him to. And I want him to be extra safe with Sealand. Sealand. Dude, pack that shit, dude. You got a fat bike. Don't be, yeah, there you go. Be generous with yourself. Anyway, Sealant is something that's important. I bring extra sealant with me when I'm on my bicycle journeys. Usually I bring a tube, but it wasn't until now I think I forgot the tube when I left the house. Anyway, damn it. So now I'm gonna have to just be ready for Easter color, because I got my Easter colors on. And I'm gonna hope for the best because it's supposed to be super windy. Oh, here's this huge rig. This is gonna shake things up, Matt. This thing is funny. It's like a chimney on the back of a thing. Anyway, I'm gonna try to finish the video before this rig comes by because it's big. Anyway, and we're gonna go into the national park today. It'll be fun. All right, we're on our way into the Canyonlands Needles to try to catch a permit. So here we go. Matt is with me. So it's nice to actually have somebody to go with. It's been really lonely in the wilderness, but you know, it's cool I made it to this point. It's beautiful through here, but the traffic is heavy and there's barely any shoulder. Canyonlands National Park. All right, scored a permit. Now we're heading right in. Down the hill and the dust and the debris and of course the beauty. Here we go, another wilderness. Just finished Elephant Hill. Oh, what a slog. You go, go, go. It never stops even when you push. Anyway, so now we go downhill on this backside here. It'll be a lot nicer, so woohoo, woohoo. Entrance to the Devil's Pocket, I think. What is the Devil's Pocket, Matt?
Yeah.
Sweet, that was right. Oh, we're not there yet, look. I know. Well, Justin is the other side of the things you don't like.
Can, like spur your memory. Oh, yes, we can get together.
Oh, man, there's some bad songs out there. But you know what? That means that without the bad ones, there wouldn't be the good ones. You look at it that way.
Yeah, but doesn't even listen to them.
Well, some people liked it.
Renditions.
Some people like that stuff, man.
Listen to a whole rendition of
Not everybody's gonna listen to Metallica over and over again. Anyway, here we are, the Devil's Pocket. It's certainly a pocket. And now we're about to leave this pocket and head to other pockets, which are gonna really hurt our pockets. Anyways, that's my little rhyme. Scribe. We will never give up. There's a storm, which makes sense. It didn't storm me yesterday, but the day before it did. And 2 days before that. So every other day it stormed on me. So this is actually would be the right amount that it would happen.
You want water?
We do want a little water so that we can use that to go over the wash. To make our lives easier. It's so hard with the amount of weight that we have on our backs. It's enormous. So, well, for me, not for Matt.
It's a lot of weight.
I have a lot of weight though. So we're gonna go up there through there. Oh, mountain bluebell birds. And head north or south to the south end of the very park. Hopefully sooner rather than later, so we can go to bed. Here you are, deep in the back of Needles again. Both of us had to reduce tire pressure significantly so they could ride the sand. But other than that, we're doing good. Even with 2.2 in the back, 2.4 in the front, I'm fine. Matt's doing a lot better. He's got like 2.8s. So, but it's working. No bicycles. Ooh-wee. Hurts. We made it to Bobby Joe Campground. Now we have about 2.5, 3 miles out of the park. And a 2.5 usually hard 3 miles. So let's hope for the best. Woohoo. And then we're gonna go to bed. Woohoo. We only been mountain biking for 6 hours. Woohoo. Alright, enough of that. We're gonna just go up through that way. And that is the end of the park, and we'll let ourselves out, and then we'll find a camp spot. Hopefully a really nice one, because it's in a really like kind of narrow canyon. So we're almost out of the park. Woohoo! Can't wait. It's been Sunday, but wait for Ruin Park. All right, folks. Welcome to one of the most isolated places that has a road in North America. It's pretty sweet. Nothing out here other than problems, and Matt's getting the gate because he's a kind Matt. Way to go, Matt. Way to help that. No hunting, no pets. High clearance 4-wheel drive is definitely needed. Now we're headed this way, up a little bit to our campsite, hopefully around the corner. I don't think anyone's out here, so I think we went at chicken dinner. Actually, we're gonna eat Brussels sprouts, so woohoo. So I'm waiting for Matt. We found this really great spot. There's flat spots everywhere, and firewood, and places to light fires if we can. The wind is coming directly this way, but maybe it'll calm down. But in here, there's another flat spot. It's really beautiful. And they made a stool or a bench. And then this ancient juniper. And this is all BLM. So all of this is legal. There's no like issues with me coming back here. The problem is building a fire here doesn't look great because it looks like there's like a lot of wind. So I won't build a fire there. However, coming around here, there's a space for maybe one tent. Oh, and a fire pit. Just in case the wind. Crazy. This place is absolutely amazing. In the middle of nowhere. These huge pines. We're higher up in a national park. You can feel it. Here's Matt coming to revel in this beauty. Look at this place, dude. I know. But there's not really good any wind blocks I'm getting. Maybe right here is our... But like still, for some weird reason, even in here, the wind is better than normal. We'll just have to like be in here. Anyway, and we have firewood. Woohoo! All right. Day one for Matt in the wilderness. And it's turned into Christmas. With all the love of Christmas, but kind of not. Because we're now soaking wet. And we got to dry our stuff out. Well, we're lucky enough. There's like a little bit of a ledge there. So as we pack our bikes, we have like some coverage. I'm actually on the hunt for more coverage, but we'll see. It's not always the case. You get lucky, but if we get a spot without this inches and inches of snow, I think we'd be in good shape. But doesn't look like there's much promise other than that one little ledge. Oh, god damn it. Anyway, so you can see too, it's really hard to walk in this. It looks like the snow clumps to the sand, and the sand, I don't know what the sand does. Anyway, so this looks like probably not really that rideable until it maybe warms up, if that's the case. But let's just hope for the best. It seems to me like it's very wet and sticky. Oh no. Anyway, folks, this is like what you call worst case scenario. But you gotta laugh. You just gotta laugh it off and just do your best to make it through. We'll make it. We always do. Just this time, it's gonna be significantly harder, I think. Oh man, the snow is so packed. It'd be different if it was like Utah snow, but this doesn't feel like Utah snow at all. This actually tells me too that there isn't a chance for me to get over the pass, because now it's probably going to be maybe muddy unless it just stays cold. But then again, you can see that this snow is not very great to walk in. So even if you hit the mud layer, it's frozen, sorta. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I think we probably need to stay put for a minute. Hey, Matt. Matt's pseudo alive. I'm gonna try to get my stuff over there in that dry spot, and then I'm gonna take my tent over there eventually, but I'm gonna first wait until Matt wakes up.
Yeah, I don't care. It's par for the course. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the snowstorm.
Snow in April on our route when it's supposed to be 50 degrees. Yeah, no problem.
Oh my god.
I expected this.
Oh, we do.
Oh my god, it's coming down.
I know.
What the fuck?
That's why I'm saying you better tighten up ship. Holy shit, dude.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. We're stuck here.
Oh my god.
I can't see fucking snow anyway.
Dude. Well, ain't nothing we can do. I'm on a ledge where our bikes are. They're staying somewhat dry, but you can see that it still blew in, or still does blow in occasionally. It hasn't let up at all since it started around 7. And you can see there's probably about 6 inches, maybe 6 inches. Yeah, about 6 inches. It continues to. There's Matt's tent. There's my tent. We're like covered in goddamn. Actually, I was gonna come out here and do some maintenance. Just so I don't get too much condensation build up around my tent. I like to keep it airy. Just when I have to put it away, helping Matt out too a little bit, I guess. I'll help some mate up. Matt is asleep again. He must have had a real good time at the wedding. I'll pack this down so we don't get muddy. This tarp is definitely not there. Well, it is there, but there we go. So Matt doesn't get muddy. All right. Now, there. That is, but sure wants to be free. Maintenance, maintenance, maintenance. You can see just bringing it around out of there if I can, as much as I can. Can't wait for it to melt. All right, that's it. Blizzard maintenance. Woohoo, here we are. Well, ain't nothing we can do. I'm on a ledge where our bikes are. They're staying somewhat dry, but you can see that it still blew in, or still does blow in occasionally. It hasn't let up at all since it started around 7. And you can see there is probably about 6 inches, maybe 6 inches. Yeah, about 6 inches. It continues to, there's Matt's tent. There's my tent. We're like covered in goddamn. Actually, I was gonna come out here and do some maintenance. Just so I don't get too much condensation build up around my tent. I like to keep it airy. Just when I have to put it away, helping Matt out too a little bit, I guess. I'll help some mate up. Matt is asleep again. He must have had a real good time at the wedding. I'll pack this down so we don't get muddy. This tarp is definitely not there. Well, it is there, but there we go. So mat doesn't get muddy. All right. Now, there. That is, but sure wants to be free. Maintenance, maintenance, maintenance. You can see, just bringing it around out of there if I can, as much as I can. Can't wait for it to melt. All right, that's it. Blizzard maintenance. Woohoo, here we are. Well, ain't nothing we can do. I'm on a ledge where our bikes are. They're staying somewhat dry, but you can see that it still blew in, or still does blow in occasionally. It hasn't let up at all since it started around 7. And you can see there is probably about 6 inches, maybe 6 inches. Yeah, about 6 inches. It continues to, there's Matt's tent. There's my tent. We're like covered in goddamn. Actually, I was gonna come out here and do some maintenance. Just so I don't get too much condensation build up around my tent. I like to keep it airy. Just when I have to put it away. Helping Matt out too a little bit, I guess. I'll help some mate up. Matt is asleep again. He must have had a real good time at the wedding. I'll pack this down so we don't get muddy. This tarp is definitely not there. Well, it is there, but there we go. So Matt doesn't get muddy. All right. Now, there. That is, but sure wants to be free. Maintenance, maintenance, maintenance. You can see, just bringing it around out of there if I can, as much as I can. Can't wait for it to melt. All right, that's it. Blizzard maintenance. Woohoo! Here we are. Here we are, Bobby's hole. You can see it's sandy, and we have to let a lot of air out of our tires to make it work. Matt less, because anyway, there is Bobby's hole. It is a gnarly one, folks. All right, folks, San Juan County. We made it to the line in the middle of nowhere. And it says, warning, four-wheel drive vehicles only. What an understatement of the year. I wonder why they don't say, like, off-road vehicles only, but they say four-wheel. Oh, they don't. That's right. They only allow souped up $150,000 Jeep Wrangler. Anyway, so here we go. Now we get to go for a little bit, and there's another cliff that we have to climb, which I think is funny why they put this sign here. And then we're in Ruin Park. All right, we got another snowstorm. That dropped another like 2 or 3 inches on us. But we made it to the old Hogan, ancient Hogan. Anyway, it's amazing. Love seeing this thing. And here we are in this beautiful spot where I fell and slammed my knee into this rock. It was really sweet. It'll really help me in my quest to go forward. So, way to go, John. There she is, Horse Mountain in her glory. And we're sitting right underneath it. We were able to travel a little faster today because of the wet. Actually made us go quick. That's not too far behind. We're probably not gonna make it over the mountains. You can see, guys, there's once again snow. And then I have to go right underneath this, so I don't know how bad that's gonna be. That's probably gonna take us a while. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it'll take us a little bit of time just to get down to the van. I'm not gonna hang on anything, but we'll see. Just depends on the snow line. If the snow line's bad, then it's not worth it. So we'll find out. Snowstorm number 3. Yeah, we're getting pounded. Hopefully it misses us. Maybe it just goes to the north, scratches by. So we're hoping. So it doesn't look promising. I hope for that. There's Matt. All right, I started a fire. Matt helped me collect wood, and now, well, I cheated I used a little bit of gasoline out of my stove to get it going, but when you're desperate, anything, yeah, definitely a second. There's our tents, a little ways from the flames. Matt and I are probably gonna park up like right here for a while. Maybe find a rock, I don't know. I don't see anything. Anyway, we have our bikes under the tree over there. And it's supposed to be 20, maybe less degrees tonight. So it's gonna be a really cold one. But then we only have, what, 500 feet to go, Matt, I think, or 600 feet. And then we're over the top. And then we're gonna go to Indian Creek because there's a storm rolling in and I'm not gonna make it. I'd be stuck for a week on top of that mountain. So this is the victory camp, I guess, for me following the swell all the way down to the Bajos on my own. Well, partly with Matt. So this is kind of victory camp. It's beautiful
We'll have
in
some
here.
more good riding somewhere else.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go somewhere else because this one won't work anymore.
Goblin or something.
Tried so many times, it's over. Anyway, but we have a fire, which doesn't, you know, whatever. I don't care about anything. We have a fire, and that's all that really matters at the moment. We're cold. We're gonna cook some food over the fire this night after we throw some more logs on it. We're gonna get really hot, and it's gonna be nice.
Yo.
Look at the tracks. We're snow biking for the last, I don't know what, yesterday was for the last 2 hours. Now it's going to be the next 2 hours because we have thousands of feet to go. Woohoo. All right, heading in the forest. There are LaSalle's. We have to head up over there, up all the way up on the top, and then connect over. So it's going to be muddy and icy and maybe just perfect. All right, the White Room Trail, the other one, is what Matt and I took years ago at the same time of year, actually. And it was hot, it was t-shirt weather, and there was no snow at all. But look what we got today. Woohoo. There's lots of snow. And us snow biking for miles. And Matt listening to something. There are the Henrys. And here we are. I've been able to ride it, but it's deep. So it's hard. And we have about a while ago. So there you go. Yet another snowstorm from Matt and I. And the best part is, look, it only is hitting us and nowhere else. And that's sweet. It's very cool. This place loves me. All right, here it is. Beef Basin, gooseberry turnoff, and you can see it's not passable. So I tried. Once again, I failed. It's route 224 that I can never make. That Matt knows it because he comes with me every time, which is 4 times now. We've done this all 4 times. All right, so now we're heading down there and then back up again and then down and then hopefully all the way out of it. Here we are, the top of Salt Creek Canyon, and it's still like 6 inches of snow. I mean, it's going down slowly. So as we lose altitude, it might be more rideable, hopefully, because
it's not a foot anymore.
Yeah, it's not a foot, so we're happy-ish. All right, back to Indian Creek again. How many times I've done this? It was the blizzard, and then I guess it's supposed to snow again tomorrow. So I called it quits on top of the hill while I looked at the weather. And now I'm going back to Matt's van, where we're gonna try to go eat burgers if we can tonight. And we've camped there before. Woohoo! Alrighty, folks, that was a failed attempt again. But here's Matt's van in Indian Creek, so it makes life a lot easier. And of course, my dirty ass bike. Coming down, it was really, really muddy. You guys can see I got mud everywhere. I got mud where he didn't think it was possible to get mud. Mud went. Anyway, so I cleaned a little bit off. I had to clean my derailleur out pretty bad. I'm just waiting for Matt. Matt will be here in a few minutes. But yeah, you can see I just got destroyed. Fun. Anyway, fun. That's the trip, guys. Yeah, I really wish I could have completed the loop, but everything kind of went haywire and we got a blizzard in the middle of nowhere and probably one of the most remote places in the entire country. So here comes Matt. Woohoo.